People move to new country to improve their economic situation or to pursue their educations. Others leave their country to escape human rights abuses such as torture, persecution, armed conflict, extreme poverty, and even death. Their journey can be full of danger and fear. Some face detention when they arrive. Many face racism and discrimination. They are uniquely vulnerable without the usual support structures most of us take for granted.
Refugee is a legal term, and the people fleeing across the Mediterranean right now into Turkey and Italy and Greece, they're referred to on the news as migrants or immigrants because they're not leaving because they have a firm belief in that if they stay they'll be hurt or killed, and that's the legal definition of a refugee. That you have to leave your country because you fear persecution, being hurt or killed. Now, I think that a lot of the people we call migrants who are trying to get out of their home countries, the world says, well, they're doing it for money. Well, if you don't have any way to live, so why are they? We have more people displaced from their homes right now than there have been in any other time in history. 60 million people right now have no home. Are they refugees? Are they migrants? And yeah, why are they? Because people, war, famine, natural causes, war, mostly people acting really badly. Many of the students we have here at Como were not granted that right. Many spent years in refugee camps, going to schools with crowded classrooms and not qualified teachers and no materials. And then when I talk to students one-on-one, it says, well, they'd say, well, I never really went anyway. I found out this year in January that one of my students from that huge Somali refugee camp in Kenya had never gone to school a day in her life until she came to Como. So that's our problem, is we have to fill in all the content knowledge, like how to read a graph, how to read all the complex academic materials that students have to read. And when students come here when they have a solid education in their home countries, all we do is give them the English language skills to transfer that. At Como, the vast majority of our students in the lower levels, you can't transfer that information because the learning isn't there in the first place. And it's difficult, it takes time. Also, people who've been through trauma, one of the symptoms of trauma is that your short-term memory gets shorter so that you can forget things faster. It's a survival skill. So oftentimes students don't remember what they learned the day before because they dumped it. So often in level 1, which is the thing I love to do, level 1, we just have to repeat a lot because students, their short-term memories, because of the trauma they themselves have lived through or the fact that they lived with people who've been through trauma, it's a biophysical thing that we're fighting too. That's, I think that's an unanswerable question. I think some people have empathy and can say, wow, if you airdropped me into a Romeo with nothing, just the clothes I'm wearing, and you airdropped me in there and I had to learn how to work in that society, would I be successful? Oh my God. I'd be one of those moms in bed who never got up. I would be so overwhelmed. That's if you have empathy. If you have no empathy, if you can't try to imagine yourself in how another person is living, then people have ugly opinions about refugees because they're not informed, they don't care, and they think their own lives are more important. Maybe. Well, I think waiting to go back home for the Somali refugees is unrealistic. I think we need to support Kenya in having those people be successful residents of Kenya and not just in basically a camp. If they were given better educational opportunities, if the international community pumped money into Kenya, those Somali refugees could live much better lives and then maybe get to go home sometime. But it's unrealistic to think they're going to go home. It's unrealistic to think anybody can go home to Afghanistan or Syria or Iraq. So pump money into the refugees where they are right now and have them be successful. I think the international community owes that to refugees because they're not to blame. You can't, they didn't bring this on themselves. And I'm talking about migrants here too. All the migrants from West Africa where they can't make a life and they're trying to make a life someplace else. Well, let's have them legal status, something, but don't put them in camps where there is absolutely no home. If you look at the Palestinians, they've been living generations in refugee camps. That's not good for anybody on earth.